pitiful mortal.
Your hope ends here! And your meaningless existence with it!
Alrighty, Seymour Flux. I come into this fight with first strike and a plus 20% HP charge, but we're gonna be changing them out, especially the armor. First action is obvious though, haste goes up immediately. And almost instantly, I remember what Seymour wants to do here. He opens up with the Lance of Atrophy. That can inflict zombie, and Morty Body is queued up right behind with full life. That combo is non-negotiable. If zombie sticks and full life comes after, the fight ends on the spot. Now sometimes with enough agility and haste, you can sneak a turn in between the two. But if you don't, that's it. And going into this first attempt, I actually wasn't fully prepared for that yet. I didn't have my zombie ward armor from once equipped on UG. My only real counter here was a clutch automat armor drop from earlier. So this first attempt is definitely half commitment. To get damage rolling early though, I throw out a poison fang to get poison ticking on Seymour as soon as possible. Lance of Atrophy comes in, around 800 damage, zombie inflicted, and immediately automat cleanses it with holy water. Morty Body follows with full life, and it does absolutely nothing. Perfect. Poison is sticking for 1400 damage every turn Seymour takes. And when you're staring at a 70,000 HP, that adds up fast. Now that that combo is under control, I start prepping for the real hits. I throw a stamina tablet straight from that magic urn in the cavern, doubling UG's max HP, and follow that stamina tablet with an axe potion. And now we're sitting at 2060 HP. Second Lance of Atrophy rolls in, same story, damage, zombie, automat, full life is going to whiff. This time though, I get a turn between Seymour and Morty, and I use it to apply the second crucial status for this fight. Silence. Morty tries full life again, nothing. Silence nicely shuts down Seymour's spells, and that status is going to do a lot of the heavy lifting here. Then I prep more for the bigger hits. Shell and Protect go up on UG. Seymour's next turn, nothing. Haha, he's under silence. He's supposed to dispel here, but instead, he just stands there and continues bleeding poison damage. Now Morty is lining up Cross Cleave, but before that I test Shadow Gems. They're immune, good reminder. And then Cross Cleave comes out. $1,283 damage, and thanks to my setup, UG barely, but cleanly survives. Crazy that I have to survive a Lance of Atrophy right after that as well. Seymour is trying to end the run outright. Even without the guard, the Protect kept the damage low enough to live again. Now it's my turn to swing momentum. First I swap into Alchemy. That turns my outfit potions into 2000 HP heals instead of 1000. And because item use is so fast, I actually get 3 turns in a row here. So I immediately follow with the Shining Gem, 5900 damage, huge chunk. Seymour responds with another Lance of Atrophy. You know the drill by now. To conserve Shining Gems for later fights, I switch over to Fire Gems instead. It's good to know that I can do 6k with the Shining Gems, but since Fire Gems are unlimited, and this fight is stable enough for now, I use them for damage instead. Morty throws out another useless full life. I heal and guard for the next Cross Cleave. This time, 656 damage. Beautifully reduced that damage with the guard. Even the Lance now, 195. Zombie cured again, and at this point I realized something important. I actually saw Yuji throw a first remedy. So I ran out of holy waters. But no panic, I checked my inventory. 41 remedies. Plenty. I reapply silence since it's worn off, and the fight stays under control. I throw in more fast Fire Gems for damage. Now Seymour drops below 50% HP, and this is where things get dangerous. He starts charging. Total annihilation. The first time, it takes 2 full turns to charge. I didn't know that, so I waste 1 turn guarding instead of dealing damage. And then, here it comes. Lasers first, 378. Rockets after, 378. 354, 377, and the final impact, 351. And somehow, Yuji survives with 222 HP left. That's the moment I knew this fight is actually winnable. I heal, throw more fire gems, and Seymour queues up another total annihilation. After the first one, it takes one less turn to charge total annihilation. This one rolls a little weaker, 278 HP left. Heal again. More fire gems, then something hilarious happens. Silence wore off, and Seymour casts Flare on himself. Everyone talks about how notoriously brutal this boss is, and Seymour just nuked himself. The silence earlier skipped his reflex setup, so the flare completely backfires. Honestly, thank you. And at this point, it's just cleanup. We can survive the big blows, silence back on. I guard for the third, total annihilation. Now that survived again, he's out of big moves. Now it's just numbers. One more clean rotation and Seymour's done. One last heal, and finally the last two fire gems. Before Morty pulls the remaining HP straight out of Seymour's soul. Seymour starts falling. And Riku is just standing there, floating next to him in midair. Physics has officially left Spira. And then Titus from the ledge says,
"And stay up there!"
which is pretty funny considering Seymour just literally fell off. But the battle, first attempt, no perfect prep, no zombie ward armor, just poison, silence, stamina tablet, and defensive buffs doing exactly what they needed to do. No usable AP, but we do get a gear called Blackout, Dark Strike. That could be very useful. I'm extremely low on smoke bombs. Evray took basically all of them, and backtracking to farm them isn't even possible. Strike-based statuses are rare. The last one I remember getting was Sleep Strike from Sinspa Kui, and unless I'm misremembering, this might be actually the first strike weapon available after Kui. I've checked a lot of drop tables in this run, and they just don't show up often. So yeah, Seymour Flux is down, and this run keeps going. And after surviving Seymour Flux, the game decided I was the problem. This is the Albed home theme, at least a cursed version of it. This one is pure anxiety. And just in case I didn't get the message, first encounter in the cave, crash. Attempt 2, normal soundtrack this time, which already feels like a win. We know the fiends here hit hard, they're big, and they don't forgive mistakes. So let's warm up. 3 mechs right out the gate. Quick glance at the CTP bar. Take the C unit out first, no question. There's not enough time to dismantle both of the others. Their attack turns are coming in no matter what, so the plan changes fast. Evade and counter goes up. This isn't even to mitigate damage, it's to avoid it completely. After that, easy steals finish the fight. But before I end it, I let one mech hit UG. Guarded. That drops her cleanly into SOS haste range, and that's intentional. That speed boost is going to matter a lot. Next pull, Ahriman and Krendel. Dream Powder immediately to get access to full control. After that, sensor comes online. I start working Ahriman down with the basic grenades, and at this point I'm just praying one thing doesn't happen on the last grenade, the critical. It's a 4% chance, so statistically impossible, right? Ahriman goes down, straight into the far plane crate. Grendel gets the poison treatment, ticking for 2,375. I do the math, barely passing with the 7 out of 10 school grade. I solve the equations, both of them secured. 2 Bashuras pull up, we've already seen them during the Gagazet climb. No ceremony, I floor them. out of the way. With SOS Haze active, the trio mechs don't stand a chance. Worth mentioning here, the scout leader, the one with the wide shoulders, its rare steal is a frag grenade, and those matter. The frag grenades inflict armor break on all fiends. That's huge. In this challenge, it's basically the only way to apply armor break. Yes, some mixed overdrives can do it too, but we've been no overdrive since the beginning. That armor break is going to carry us later, especially capturing armored fiends. Mandragora next. This one always shows up with the chunky HP pool. Nasty status effects, confusion, poison, everything. And its attacks have to be respected. This is one of those fights where I want to start at full HP. So we pop up, start clocking time. Fire gems come out. I was waiting for the Ochu dance. Yuji has confusion ward on though. And we managed to dodge the confusion. Perfect. At this point, whatever other statuses land, I mean other than slow, don't matter anymore. It scares me with an earthquake. That move I totally forgot. And that damage is no joke. But the protect keeps me standing. And after that, Mandragora joins the Farplank raid. Then we get the icon, Behemoth. And I open with the iconic play, Dream Powder. And poison is disgusting here. Ticking for 5,750. That's not chip damage anymore, that's something else. I do the math, set up the takedown, and take the Behemoth in, aka Behemoth. Now here's the bonus. Behemoth has a weapon drop worth farming. This is our first possible zombie inflicting weapon. Zombie touch. That's massive. I'll be farming this before I move on, which means luck and patience. One more reused pull. You already know the drill. And then this thing.
Wow! Say, is that edible?
Top 10 annoying fiends in Final Fantasy X. No debate. If you don't know how this works, it feels like hitting a rock with a feather. But I did my homework. There are a few routes here. My goal is capture, so I go with the silence. Under silence, it loses most of its options. Below 33% HP, it starts spamming White Wind. And that's the problem. Our raw damage isn't great. It has high defense, high magic defense, halves all elements, and unlike other flans, this one is non-elemental. No easy exploits, huh? But frag grenades change everything. Armor break on. Physical damage is back on the table. I start swinging, and that matters because capture has to be done with an attack. Mid-fight I remember something important as well. You can inflict slow on it, and slowing it down means fewer white winds. I saw a few early ones healing for about 2,000. The last one, half a potion. I don't know if white wind weakens over time, but I'm not complaining. Eventually, Darkland is captured. Into the depths. No, into the dark depths of the Farplank raid. For anyone going against Darkland, there are other routes. Candle of Life. Doom. Instant existential crisis for the clan. If anyone's wondering how this all sounds outside the cave in Mount Gagazet, this is probably what it looks like. I'm not sure if we should have let them pass. They're planting chocobo jams deep in that cave. Even from the far plane, this feels like a mistake. Another option, Star Curtains. From its steel table, reflect on a party member, and suddenly, Bio, Osmos, Drain, Flare, all bouncing back. Demi will come through though, but Demi doesn't kill you. I didn't test White Wind interactions fully with the reflect on, maybe later. But Darkland shows up with the game plan. Unfortunately, so did I. With the dryland fiends cleared, it's time to dive underwater, and I won't sugarcoat it. These are harder. I had multiple game overs here. Mail spikes hit hard, and their Maelstrom is terrifying move. We already saw that in Via Perifico. They spin around and game over you. Thankfully, the fiend lineup here is super simple. There are two more fiends underwater. The small fishes, the splashers. They're annoying for inflicting poison, and they come in with 1 to 3 packs. Solos being the weakest and the trios being the strongest. Achilos hits hard as well. Every time it's targeted, it charges, and after 3 charges, it releases Sonic Wave, a massive damage. Underwater evade and counter helps, but the fiends here have unevadable attacks. Annoying, I told you, but not impossible. All the fiends underwater are pretty complicated, and you have to look into their battle behaviors in order to capture them. But eventually, Male Spike gets captured. The trick was Farplane Shadows. Wipe the field, leave one. Axilos came one turn away from Sonic Wave. Even healing it out of the poison advances the charge. I'm telling you, these guys, bro. Captured on the last possible moment. Splashers can explode on death. Not lethal under protect, but still irritating. All underwater fiends are also weak to lightning. That's good to keep in mind. And once there were only one splasher left, I captured it. Couple underwater rare stills worth mentioning are frag grenades from the splashers, and this guy can offer us healing springs, which means regen is officially on the table for this run. Regen and the Dark Flange Star Curtains for Reflect are the two items I cannot overlook, and I'll have to grab a few extras before moving on. This minigame is pure lies. The one that hits the center, miss. The one that is too late, perfect. Sure, makes sense. Minigame's done. Chests collected. Notable reward, pep talk. SOS Null Frost, Null Shock, Null Plays. That's a decent gear. Last thing, Zombie Touch. I kept farming Behemoth. Equipment get dropping nicely. I mean, it was pretty much always dropping something. And then I noticed something. A weapon named Halberd with Zombie Touch. That name feels criminal. That thing should be called something like Grave Piercer, Last Rites, Corpse Caller, Dirge Lance. Not an halberd, but I'll take it. It got the zombie touch in it, and that's what I was farming. At this point, I'm standing on the Sanctuary Keeper's pawn.
It comes.
Respectfully, I know this is a hard boss, no matter the circumstances, and I've stacked a lot of restrictions against myself. I was fully prepared to end the challenge here, if that's what it took. Sanctuary Keeper, it comes.